I know so much about dating because I went on thousands of dates before I found the perfect person for me, and today I have a list of qualities to look for before getting engaged or married. I'm Rick Buck, and I consider myself the Michael Jordan of the dating world. I know so much about dating because I went on thousands of dates before I found the perfect person for me at the age of 33. And honestly, I married way above my level. Now I have the best marriage with an awesome family life that has exciting experiences like traveling the world. Every day for me is fulfilling and blissful. And today I have a list of qualities to look for before getting engaged or married. It isn't just a list of things to look for so that you'll stay together forever, but a list of essential qualities to make sure your marriage leads to a very fun and fulfilling life. The number one thing to look for in the person you're going to marry is accepting bids. When people want attention from their girlfriend or boyfriend or spouse, do they get it? For example, some people may want a lot of attention and others may want less attention, but do you get it when you want the attention? Bids are moments of emotional connection and communication, such as one partner shares a story or asks a question, and it's crucial to recognize and respond to them positively if you're the other person. Some bids may not be so obvious. Physically touching someone, trying to be funny, commenting on something that you guys are watching, praising someone, or complimenting someone may all be types of bids for attention. They can be something as simple as saying, "Hey, look at that bird up there," and expecting the person to respond and talk to you about the bird. When in a relationship of consistently accepting bids, it creates a positive cycle of emotional connection and responsiveness, leading to a more fulfilling and satisfying relationship. Humor. It is no coincidence that high on everyone's list of qualities in a partner is humor. But don't misconstrue a funny person as someone that you can laugh with. What I'm trying to say might better be explained in a question. Do you find the same things funny or at least entertaining? For example, you don't both have to love baseball, but do you both think it's funny when you see an outfielder constantly adjust his jockstrap? Or is it funny when both of you see a random fan being ridiculous? Humor is important because it might just be the string that keeps you attached. When all else fails, do you laugh at the same things? Not just do you find the person funny, which is very good if you do, but do you personally laugh with them? Sometimes things go wrong in a marriage, and when they do, can you at least laugh together at the same things? When we laugh, we release endorphins, and when endorphins are released together, it creates a bond that can provide a chemical, physical attraction to one another because we are just simply happy at the same time. Conflict management. Once you are in love, your one responsibility is to not mess it up. Conflicts in all shapes and sizes will arise in a marriage. How many and how you navigate those conflicts together will tell you everything about where your love will end up. Do arguments arise out of nowhere? Do tiny things end up being huge arguments? How are the disputes handled? Did any change come out of the resolution? Let me just explain, there is nothing less attractive than an argument. However, there is nothing more attractive than someone who is able to navigate an argument or disagreement. Okay, maybe there's a few things more attractive, but you get my picture. Why do you think so many arguments end in babies? It isn't the argument, but the resolution that created the moments of passion. But did you know it doesn't have to be a full-fledged fight to produce that same amount of passion? In fact, if it happens too much, those arguments can greatly diminish the amount of passion in a relationship. So if all molehill-sized problems become insurmountable mountains with no feeling of settlement and resolution within a reasonable time frame, then your marriage is destined to fail. Here's a question. After an argument, an intense discussion, or a disagreement ends, do you feel like the person just wanted to be right, or whether they really wanted to come to a resolution. Not during the argument or the issue or whatever, because almost everyone thinks the other person at first is trying to win an argument. But at the end, do you think they were actually trying to come to a resolution? Did it feel that way? Now, the earlier a couple can recognize that the other person is interested in a resolution and the betterment of their relationship, even if that resolution is just talking it out or holding and biting their tongue, the better you will be at conflict management. So many things are misconstrued, so getting that conflict management down is so important. Love in commitment. Does your person that you are with believe in love and commitment? You see, today, lots of people don't understand love very well and understand that the commitment that comes behind that. So one of the conversations I had with my wife and selling points I was trying to convey to her to marry me at the time was that I could eat In-N-Out, my favorite restaurant, every day for the rest of my life, and I could watch my favorite television show every day for the rest of my life, and I would be happy and I would not need any other foods or television shows. What I meant was, once I love something, I don't need a substitute for that thing, and I can stay committed to it forever and be completely happy. It was a funny way of trying to convey that, but she understood what I meant at the time. Another way you can look for this, besides whether someone eats fast food for the rest of their life, is looking for long-term friends in their life and see if someone knows how to stay committed to a friendship, or if they just tear and rip through different relationships and go from one to another. But really check, what are their longest relationships? You might want to also check on how they stay committed to jobs, or were they able to go through school staying committed to a path. Now, not everything is perfect. There are going to be switches and things, and everything is justifiable, but you do want to find that they are able to stay committed to something for a while. Before I get to the best part, make sure you watch all my videos on how to plan the perfect proposal. I have thousands of ideas and tips on things like how to plan and photograph the proposal so you have great memories. Also, if you want more money to spend on the engagement, I show you how to save hundreds to thousands on the ring, and she will be impressed. Jewelers know that this is a one-time purchase you know nothing about, so take all my tips so you don't get ripped off, and use the links below this video because those are the best places to buy rings and also help to save money on those rings so you can apply that to an amazing engagement. How do they make you feel? How does the person you're dating make you feel? Do you feel like you are awesome in their eyes? Here's a test if you want to test your partner. Tell the person you're dating something you're afraid to tell them about you. Something about your past, something weird, a weird desire that you have, and now see what they do. Do they ignore it? Do they cringe at it? Do they make it seem normal? Do they get worried about that thing? Do they think it's awesome and unique? Do they want to know more about it and find it maybe interesting because it's a part of you? Do they praise you for it? Do they make fun of it? If they make fun of it, do they come around and make you feel normal or awesome about it later? What you may want to know is what you are deep down awesome to the person that you are with. Now, we can all cut people a little slack because sometimes things are hard to swallow, but generally, do they think you have amazing personal qualities at your core? Because ultimately, they're gonna love what is at your core. Stress. How do they handle stress? There was one thing I always said I was going to do when I was dating to test who I was going to marry. I never did this, but here's what I was going to do. I was going to have my girlfriend throw a party for something. But during that party planning and putting it together, I was gonna purposefully throw wrenches in the system just to see how they responded. Now, that's kind of mean, so that's why I never did it. I obviously loved the people that I dated. But you see, conflicts, stress, and frustrations are all the destroyers of marriage. Once you are married, you obviously loved each other. You just don't want the love to get messed up. Watch how they handle stress, and does it get taken out on you? Like I said, always cut people some slack, but you may want to know if every time they're hungry, they're going to feel like you did something wrong instead of just noticing that they're hungry. Or when they have a homework assignment due, are they not very nice to you? Because let me tell you, when you have kids, they're gonna be very stressful times. The fun times, in my opinion, weigh those stressful times but there are going to be those stressful times. And what you need to know is if you're going to be able to navigate those waters together. Likability. This actually should be higher on the list, but do you like the person and do they like you? Now, you may be thinking like, that's pretty obvious, but hear me out. My wife once told me an interesting truth. Way after we had already established that we're in love, she said to me one time, kind of intimately, "I like you." It was kind of a bid, and she was wanting a response from me. I thought at the time it was kind of not weird, but a little out of nowhere, and that she should have said she loved me, but she was actually expressing something that was very important to her that she wanted me to know. She explained it's actually more important and rare that once you are committed that you like the person and want to be around them. You see, she wasn't stating her level of affection for me, that it was like and not love. She was pointing out that you can love someone that you don't really like that much. But wouldn't you want the person you are in love with to like you, to want to be around you? I hope so, because if not, that person will soon be always in the basement on video games or out with their friends to do things that they want and like to do. But if they actually like you, they may not be doing those other things, at least to the point where it's leaving you behind. You get the picture. Liking your partner is just as important as loving them. Now, the second part, you need to always try and be attractive to the other person. Even for people that say that looks aren't that big a deal to each other in a relationship, a lot of times that will change to one person or another because they find out, yes, they actually were important, but now your looks have started to fade. The other person would appreciate if you were at least trying to impress them with how you dress and so on and so forth. So what you want to look for is, even if you find that person super attractive, are they someone that is still trying to be attractive for you? I hope that makes sense. Remember, you will likely want someone that is at least trying to impress you all the time. And we all have eyes. Even people that don't seem to care about this now often will feel later in marriage when our looks fade. And I know looks aren't everything, but when you are trying to look your best for each other, it is impressive and makes the other person also feel beautiful and valued. Pulling their weight. One of the things that will destroy a marriage is when someone feels exhausted. And one of the things that will promote a healthy marriage is when there is a common work ethic that you can draw from one another. Look for clues to a person's work ethic. Do they have and hold jobs? Is their house always clean to an acceptable level for you? If you are marrying someone that is still at home with mom and dad, it's hard to tell how they will be when mom and dad aren't doing the work for them. Other things you look out for is when things break. Do they get them fixed? Or how about projects? Do they start and finish projects? Are they busy in school? You're just looking for work ethic. What does that person consider a substantial amount of work? Does a simple task wipe them out, or can they keep going? Do they complain a ton about an amount of work that you seem to think is just a normal level of work? Do they like to be at work? Does work invigorate them? Do they work out? One funny story about my mom and dad is my dad went through my mom's clothing drawers to see if she had folded her clothes. And what he was trying to see is this person going to have a household work ethic? So you get the picture. What is their tolerance to work like? Because if there's a disparity between you two, you get to pick up the rest of that. And now for one last bonus tip. What is their crazy like? Simply put, we all have a crazy side to some degree. No one is exempt from this. The thing is, can you put up with their crazy times? And what I like to ask is, can you put up with their crazy times 3? It's no secret. Most of the time, our quirks and our personality traits get worse in time. Not all of them, but some will. In fact, some will get better and you will be pleasantly surprised. However, some will get worse. So here's the question. Take their personality flaws and multiply them times 3. Can you deal with them once they have tripled in strength? It's hard, but it may be the most critical question you should ask yourself. Because remember, we're all putting our best foot forward when we're dating, especially at the beginning of dating. And people can keep that up for quite some time. But once they're comfortable and in marriage, sometimes those quirks strengthen. So remember, falling in love is easy. Finding someone that reciprocates it and won't mess it up is hard. Good luck, and I hope you find that person that is just right for you. And these are questions that I would ask and find out to make sure you are gonna have that stellar relationship that only a few people out there get to enjoy. Moving on. On my channel, I have tons of proposal tips and idea videos from how to plan, photograph, and deliver the perfect proposal that she is going to love. Also, watch one of my many how to shop for engagement rings and diamond videos. Or mark my words, they know how to rip you off. The best places to buy diamonds are in the description below to save hundreds to thousands on engagement rings, and they are the best and most reputable places to buy diamond engagement rings. Like, subscribe, and watch another one now.